Fans of Outlander are devastated and so angry, criticizing the show for the unnecessary death. Fans of Outlander were incensed about the unnecessary death of a cherished character who perished in a fire. Warning: there are significant spoilers from Outlander Season 8, Episode 7 in this article. Outlander's 8th season is almost over, with only 3 episodes left before the cherished show ends forever, according to the Daily Record. Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone, Diana Gabaldon's 9th book in the Outlander series, is the basis for the show, but, as the 8th season draws closer to its conclusion, it deviates considerably from the original. The significant narrative twist in this week's episode has angered a lot of fans. Evidence of Things Not Seen, the 7th episode, featured more sadness as Jamie, played by Sam Heughan, and Claire Fraser, played by Caitùona Balfe, looked for further information about their stillborn daughter Faith Fraser. It was discovered that, although he had concealed this from Claire, Faith had been abducted by Master Raymond, Dominique Pinon, and placed in the care of a woman in Paris who lived directly across the street from his pharmacy. Faith was killed while traveling to the New World, as was revealed earlier in Season 8. It was revealed this week that she was on that ship because she was traveling to see her folks. In the meantime, a horrific fire broke out in Fergus Fraser's, César Domboy, Philadelphia printshop, forcing the family to flee in desperation. He eventually died, despite the fact that Fergus and Marzali Fraser, Lauren Lyle, were able to successfully transfer all of their children to safety. Numerous viewers expressed their outrage on Reddit on the controversial choice to eliminate cherished fan favorite Fergus. "I'm shocked, disappointed, devastated," someone wrote. "First of all, why? The most devoted member of this family was Fergus. He simply agreed to go along with Jamie and Claire. He was deserving of so much more. Not only with this ridiculous episode, but with the entire program. I'm furious. Sick. I feel like this all took away from what the episode should be about, the loss of Fergus," commented a second viewer. "I've already complained about Fergus' ridiculous death, emotionless, unnecessary, and rushed, and now I have to complain about something else. This Faith storyline is straight-up soap opera garbage," said a third commenter. "I can't even focus on him because I'm so frustrated with the writers." Another Redditor wrote, "What bothered me the most was the completely lazy, emotionless, and rushed way they handled Fergus's death, a death that didn't need to happen in the first place." Another participant added, "Well, a big F you to the writers of this episode. How dare they do that to the most loyal, loving, kind person in the entire series. Sick." Others responded to the outcry by praising actor Domboy on Instagram for his performance after the celebrity had previously shared behind-the-scenes photos on his account. "I'm still crying from episode 7, someone wrote. "I won't spoil it, but let's celebrate Fergus." "Bawling," commented a second viewer. "I'm not sure what to do with myself at the moment, sick." His passing is a dramatic divergence from the novels, in which Henri Christian Fraser, Benjamin Moss, the 4-year-old son of Fergus and Marzali, tragically drowns while trying to escape the fire. This is just one of many ways that the TV show and its original material diverge from one another. Faith's plot was also changed so that she lived instead of dying only to experience further heartache. So far, the 8th season of Outlander has elicited a mixed reaction from viewers, with the Faith narrative receiving a lot of flack for being extremely upsetting. A Blessing for a Warrior Going Out, Gabaldon's 10th and last book in the series, is presently being written. As a result, the television adaptation and the books will end very differently. In Outlander Season 8, Episode 6, it appeared as though everything were back under control thanks to Jamie's solution for the men who betrayed him, Captain Cunningham's return to England, and the prospect of further weapons. Frank continues to threaten to kill Jamie in the Battle of King's Mountain, though. Frank has turned into a ghost that lurks over Jamie's shoulder, and every action he takes only appears to confirm this inevitability. Once again in Savannah and away from the Ridge, William had his own problems. This character has experienced a number of significant shocks over the past several seasons, the most recent of which was the discovery that his cousin Benjamin Gray had faked his death in order to enlist in the Continental Army. Even worse, it seems like Amaranthus came up with the entire notion. This brings us to Outlander Season 8, Episode 7, where Savannah's circumstances change. The frequent threats made against Fergus and Marzali Fraser turn into a real menace, so William's problems are far from the worst. An explanation of the tragic death of Fergus Fraser in Outlander Season 8, Episode 7. Fergus Fraser had a target on his back as a printer during a revolutionary period. He and Marzali get yet another threat, this time using fire, in Outlander Season 8, Episode 7. Determined not to allow these enigmatic messages stop them from utilizing their company to support the rebel cause, they both shrug it off. Sadly, it was more than just a threat this time. The print shop ignites in the middle of the night. Fergus goes to the roof to locate their sons as Marzali escapes their daughters from the burning house. As the fire started, the boys, who had gone up to gaze at the stars, got stuck. By the time Fergus reaches the roof, flames had taken over the staircase leading back down. In Outlander Season 8, Fergus's passing is a horrible and surprising turn of events. In Diana Gabaldon's books, little Henry Christian dies instead, however in the show, Fergus dies to save the child, allowing the child to survive. Seeing Henry Christian die would have been even awful, so it's a good change. Nevertheless, it's difficult to say goodbye to a character like Fergus while witnessing Marzali, Brianna, Jamie, and Claire grieve. The razor of Faith Fraser is finally revealed in Outlander Season 8. Jamie and Claire made some progress in their quest for information about their daughter, Faith, prior to Brianna and Roger returning to Fraser's Ridge with Marzali and the heartbreaking news of Fergus. In Outlander Season 8, Episode 7, Fanny reveals that she misplaced a piece of lace that she treasures and that her grandmother created it. Fanny clarifies that the woman who reared her mother, Faith, was a lacemaker in Paris in response to some follow-up inquiries from Claire. Jamie recalls that Master Raymond's pharmacy was located across the street from a lace shop. While Jamie was incarcerated and Claire was still sick, he and Claire conclude that this woman must have been the one the strange guy left young Faith with. This is confirmed just at the end of Outlander Season 8, Episode 7. The song Claire sang to the stillborn baby, "I Do Like to Be Beside the Seaside," is shown being taught to tiny Faith by Master Raymond in a flashback scene while she is being taken to the lacemaker. Remark. Faith could have known this song as an adult, according to Master Raymond's instruction to the lacemaker. However, as of Episode 7, a lot remains a mystery. This proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that Fanny's mother is Claire and Jamie's daughter, even though we still don't know how Faith survived. The account of Jane Pocock supports this confirmation. Ian was able to locate the individual who had interviewed Jane prior to her passing and forwarded the complete account to Jamie and Claire at the Ridge. This proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that Fanny's mother is Claire and Jamie's daughter, even though we still don't know how Faith survived. The account of Jane Pocock supports this confirmation. Ian was able to locate the individual who had interviewed Jane prior to her passing and forwarded the complete account to Jamie and Claire at the Ridge. As it happens, Master Raymond had informed the lacemaker that Lady Brock-Twarwick was Faith's biological mother, and the Pococks were traveling to the Americas expressly to visit Fraser's Ridge and locate her. Naturally, this is none other than Claire. Fanny learns the truth about Jamie and Claire's relationship. Jamie and Claire feel it's time to tell Fanny the truth now that they are positive Faith Pocock was their daughter. Prior to Jane's letter regarding the Lady Brock-Twarwick, they had neither evidence nor an explanation. They take a seat, allow Fanny to read Jane's comments, and do their best to explain why they had failed to raise young Faith without disclosing the miraculous specifics. Fanny seems to react negatively to this news at first. She quietly requests to go back to her room without saying anything further about what she just discovered. But later on, she informs Jamie and Claire that Fanny is even more terrified of losing them now that she knows they are her family. Given that the poor child has lost everyone else, it makes some sense. William learns the truth about the sexual orientation of Lord John. In Outlander, William should be realizing more and more how little he actually knows about his family. He only recently learned that Ben is still alive, and in Episode 7, he confronts Amaranthus about the entire situation to make sure she was the one who persuaded her spouse to pretend to be dead rather than humiliate himself. William witnesses Lord John kissing Percy Beauchamp quite passionately while he is still dealing with this. William is not amused by this, as usual. He yells at his adoptive father, labeling him a sodomite and even hinting that Jamie and Lord John may have had a sexual relationship when incarcerated at Ardsmuir. John is initially agitated by the scenario, but in the end, he becomes enraged and tells William that he is sick of his pouting and lack of gratitude. Even though William adores Lord John, it is unfortunate that he would find the revelation so repulsive. It's a lot of knowledge at once, of course. William will undoubtedly change his mind. Episode 7 of Outlander Season 8 hinted at future losses. Loss and grief are the central themes in Outlander Season 8, Episode 7. Fergus's passing is a devastating blow, especially since neither book nor TV fans could have predicted it. The knowledge that Jamie and Claire never had the opportunity to raise Faith, while Fanny laments the death of every member of her family, adds another complexity to this tragedy. However, this episode also demonstrates how the characters can assist and relate to one another while they deal with loss. They have all experienced it. This Outlander episode's grief and loss extend beyond Fergus. It's getting more and more obvious that there will be more catastrophe. Jamie tells Fanny that she won't lose this new family, but he is aware that he will eventually have to violate his word. It's unclear if that will occur at the Battle of King's Mountain. However, as Outlander Season 8 draws to a close, it is more and more likely that things will continue to take darker turns. Evidence of things not seen intensifies the tension as the final season of Outlander approaches its final episodes, with a disastrous result for the Fraser clan. In order to verify the accuracy of the information in Frank Randall's book regarding the impending battle site, Jamie begins the episode with a visit of King's Mountain. However, for the remainder of the show, Jamie's potential death is put on the back burner. Fergus is instructing his boys Henri Christian and Germain on how to use the printing machine in Savannah. Henri Christian claims that because of his dwarfism, he doesn't want to let his father down. Fergus, however, demonstrates his prosthetic hand and asserts that there is nothing wrong with being unique, adding that Henri Christian would do great things despite his diminutive size. The pen is our sword, and we can never lay it down, he adds, adding that Fergus Fraser and sons will eventually belong to them. Fergus is such a wonderful father. When William returns home to Lord John's, he confronts Amaranthus over Ralph Bleecker, also known as Benjamin Gray. Amaranthus is a fussy person who swiftly wins her husband's sympathies again, even though she is aware that he is still alive. LJG is a little less understanding when she confesses to Lord John, well, he's never experienced the joys of some alone time in the gazebo with her. Amaranthus responds angrily to Lord John's criticism of her, claiming that she made up her status as Ben's widow in order to keep her kid from starving. Alright, so perhaps Amaranthus isn't all that horrible after all if she was merely trying to survive after her husband tricked her and the British monarchy. The jury is still out. William is cautioned by Lord John not to approach her too closely. Sage advice from a man who had first-hand experience with the consequences of marrying a woman whose husband was still alive. However, William is more enraged with Lord John for concealing his paternity than he is with Amaranthus. Marzali and Brianna talk about Fergus possibly being Le Comte Saint-Germain's son in the market. Until they get the weapons for the Ridge from Marion, Brianna and Roger remain in Savannah. Despite the money it would offer them, Fergus doesn't want to be a pawn in Percy Beauchamp's game. After that, a man calls Marzali a rebel bitch for what Fergus prints and hits her with a tomato. Fergus later discovers a message with the words, Lady Bird, fly away home, your house is on fire, and your children are gone, posted to their door. This is not the end of the threats. Marzali said she won't allow meaningless threats to drive their family away. There is a rare sex scene between Marzali and Fergus, or at least the beginning of one, and Fergus wishes to expand their family by making love. Why is there a sense of dread among all this domestic joy when these two appear to be so content? When Percy visits Lord John's home, he also becomes lustful. Percy claims that Lord John has a covert scheme to deal with Captain Richardson, who is en route to Savannah. William interrupts the former lovers and stepbrothers as they reminisce and start making out.